episode of Ask Your Dad. Vacation, we're waking up bright and early tomorrow and going heading to Florida. We just wanted to fit one more podcast in before. And how do you feel about this podcast?
We went on a 12-week stretch from December break till now. We looked at that 12 weeks and we knew it was going to be brutal. So I'm just excited to be in the car, heading to Florida tomorrow, and yeah, pumped.
Me too. I'm very pumped. So, as another reminder, we are still inviting guests over for the talk with us next to us. So let's get started.
Yeah, throw it at me. Let's see what
Question
questions you got.
Why do we pay with money instead of trading?
Ooh, man. So we used to do a lot more trading back in the day, right? Like when the communities were smaller.
Before the British.
Before the British, sure. Don't do that. Do not touch our history lessons on me. I do not know my history very well. But before the British, so we still do trading, okay? And I have examples of that where I've actually done, hey, if I do this for you, will you help me with that, right? With your skills and services. But as we've gotten away from more community-based things, we do a lot more paying with money these days. It's actually a shame. I would love to be able to be like, hey, I can help you with this. Can you help me with that? And you know, so yeah, we pay with more money now than we used to. Currencies become more important for that reason, and I wish we can go back to a time. The problem is like, I don't, as you know, like I don't have a lot of like fix it up things I can offer, right? Like I would love to be able to trade X, Y, Z, but a lot of my skill sets are just different. So, yeah, it's kind of a long-winded answer to say, learn a lot of things, get a lot of good friends. Like I talked to you and your brother about how cool it'd be if your brother knew how to do like plumbing and you knew how to do electrical and your buddy knew how to do, and you guys could all be like, dude, not only could we be in a business together, but we could always help each other. There's nothing we couldn't ever help each other with, right? Mm-hmm. Learning stuff like that is such a handy thing for sure.
Yeah, that's a good lesson.
Yeah.
Want to do second question or
Sure.
Want to get deeper? Okay. Why do adults have to go to work?
Whoa, why do you think I need to go to work?
Not why.
Do you think I like, if I didn't get paid, do you think I'd wake up and go to work?
What?
If I didn't get paid, do you think I'd wake up and go to work?
Maybe.
Okay.
The reason I asked this question is a lot of kids out there don't really know don't really know much about money, and I'm trying to explain.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try to explain.
Well, work, first and foremost, providing for you guys is an extremely important responsibility,
Very
right?
important.
I go to work so we can have this house, so we can be generous, so we can eat food, so we can have all the things. So we go on vacation to Florida tomorrow, right? But beyond that, I think work is really healthy and good for us anyway. I get in a lot of trouble when I have idle time and I don't have something I'm being productive towards. So, I think going to work is a gift, you know, and especially ever since like when I used to go to work when I was before you guys, it would be like, yeah, you know, it's kind of exciting, kind of fun, kind of important, you know. But then you guys came along and you guys come innocent without any capabilities taking care of yourself, and going to work became such, like I wake up excited thinking about you guys and your future and what I could provide for you guys. And that's one of the blessings of having a kid, is because going to work becomes such a greater purpose because I have to provide for somebody that can't provide for themselves, you know?
So that's your motivation.
Oh, it's a big one, for sure.
I never knew that.
Yeah. What do you think you'll do someday, if you had to guess?
For like a job, I have 3 guesses. Either a comedian, a electrical worker, or maybe a rocket engineer.
Okay, what makes you think you're apt for those?
I have a lot of good I try making people laugh, like you said in the first episode. I love making up new ways to make people laugh. And that's a comedian. Rocket scientist, I always thought just making something like that would be cool. That's the only reason I'd want to do that.
Yeah, making rockets.
Electrical. I just wanna learn how. I just wanna learn how to do something. You know.
Yeah, for sure. Those are all great careers. The thing I have found is finding the sweet spot between something that you are naturally. We all have these natural bends of things we're good at. For example, it would have made absolutely no sense for me to go and be anything to do with math or like an engineer.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Of course.
I have a natural apt to be doing things with people, communicating with people, those kinds of things. So finding something you have a natural bent to, which math you definitely do, and then finding something with that you can be productive for society with, right? So there's always work to be found when you can add value and productivity to society in some way or solve a problem for somebody, right? And so, yeah. So yeah, we need electrical things to go around. This podcast doesn't exist without electricity, right?
Jinx my back out.
Don't jinx me on here.
Okay.
All right, give me the next question.
Is it good to tell a lie to protect someone?
Is it good to tell a lie to protect somebody? Man. I'm going to preface this question by saying I think hard honesty is good. So I think there's sometimes we need to be able to have conversations that are hard, where a lot of people have maybe lied to people for a really long time, and somebody needs to come in and be honest with somebody from a place of love. So I'm going to say that I think honesty from a place of love is always good. I'm going to turn this question back on you. Could you give me an example of a lie that would potentially protect somebody? That would, like, give me an example.
So let's say, like for the kids, someone was collecting chocolate bars and stuff like that. Someone took a quarter of that chocolate, and a friend knew about it, and they were like gonna trade with it. And then the person who he traded with, tried protecting them because he still wanted to keep on trading with him for something else, for the chocolate.
And the person in the scenario stole some of that chocolate?
Uh-huh.
Let me ask you this. In the long run, am I protecting that person
Not
by
really.
lying? Yeah, why is that?
Well, you're just trying to keep the lie on moving forward,
Yeah.
and you're just building up the lie with another lie. It's like a water fountain. You're trying to plug the hole with sponges, and it just keeps on soaking.
Yeah.
Until it bursts out.
Yeah.
And it's bigger every single time you put a sponge in.
There's a balance here. I've seen where people have protected people, thought they were protecting people by continuously lying to them to not hurt their feelings, when sometimes people's feelings need to get hurt. So if somebody's stealing, right, things like that going on, that's where hard truths come in. And sometimes people don't like you for telling the truth. However, on the other end of that spectrum, I know there's people, I've known people who been like, oh, I'm going to be honest all the time. And they walk around like a baseball bat, not coming from a place of honesty, not from a place of love, right? And telling people things that they think are honest all the time. And they don't have the relationship with the person that needs it, right? So if I'm going to be honest with you as my son, I'm, Lachlan, going to be fully honest with you about who you're becoming and guiding you and all that all the time, because I want you to become a great man someday, right? But if somebody came at you that didn't have a relationship, but didn't know you and tried to tell you and be honest with you, I wouldn't step into another place that I shouldn't, right? So I think there's a balance there between I want to be honest with you about things out of a place of relationship and love, versus I'm not gonna allow you to continue to do things to try to protect your feelings, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because not always your feelings go up and down. They're not always striking up.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I thought you were gonna say something.
No. Good questions, man.
Why are people mean to others just because they're different?
There's a lot of reasons that could be the case. There's a lot of reasons. I think one of the biggest reasons is their own insecurities. So they
Yeah, that's what I thought.
feel a little bit better, right, by putting somebody else down. So a lot of times when people are mean to somebody, that happens a lot of times from a place of they feel there's something inside them that feels a certain way.
Yeah, and they're trying to deal with it, and they're dealing with it the wrong way, making other people, letting other people into it, and without them knowing that's something they're hurt.
Yeah. And there's a lot of long-term damage that could be done from that, right? There's a lot of issues from that. Tell me, have you seen examples of that? Like, what does that look like to you when you see it?
Uh, when people are being mean, some like I used to play when I was like in first grade in kindergarten with this group of kids. Then they started kicking people out because they liked a different game, and we all voted. So soon, I'm like, I walk up to those all those 10 kids that got kicked out of that group at school, and I talk to them about what they did wrong and ask them if they want to be like my friend or something and get to know each other better. Uh, Most of them said no, but a few said yes, and I got some good relationships from that. I quitted the group because it's just how they're doing it is wrong.
Nice. I'm proud of you for that, man. One thing I could say is even becoming an adult, you're going to come across people who are mean or angry, and it could start to wear on you because you come across person after person after person,
Yeah.
right? And it's so important that we don't let other people's emotions, anger, hatred, meanness, whatever, change about who we are. We need to be steady, and it needs to bounce off of us. We need to have resilience in that, because if we allow other people to do that, guess what? That'll then flow through us. We'll be mean to somebody because we'll get angry over all the angry people, and we become jaded, right? And there's a lot of good people, but sometimes there are people who are really hurting. So sometimes here's a trick, right? So if you're coming at me and you're mad about something and you're being mean or you're being angry, sometimes if you just sit there and you take it, right, and you allow it to hit you, and you allow them to say what you say, and then you come back with, man, is everything all right? It seems like you're like really upset about something. A lot of times they're used to people lashing back to them, right? So you can kind of stop the cycle if you don't react and then come back to them later being like, are you okay? Because if you're that angry about that, man, it seems like there's something more going on here. I just want to check that with you, right? So that's one tactic, but it's really hard to do because when people are being mean or hateful towards you, you have to get your emotions in check and say, man, I'm not going to let this get to me, you know? It's tough.
What's one of the things that made you feel proud with something I did?
That you did? Mm-hmm. Oh, there's so many things. So many things.
Only one thing.
Only one? All right. You're holding me accountable to one thing. Gosh. Only one thing. I think this is a very recent thing for me, is watching you, watching your character and approach to, so I just coached you through football and wrestling, right? And I got to see, and winning and losing and all that wasn't anything. I was never like, wow, I'm super proud of you for winning that match. Some of the most proud moments is when you lost, because the way that you approached it, you coming at it from an angle of such resiliency and the ability for you to like see your headspace coming into things. So like during the wrestling season, there was this tournament where at Durand where you lost to like 4 kids by like 1 point each, right? Mm-hmm. And it was a tough tournament. And you're like, oh my gosh, I could have beaten those kids. Well, we get to the Montrose tournament, the very next tournament, and I look at the bracket, and you have the exact same kids you got to wrestle. Remember this? Mm-hmm. And I was super excited because I'm like, I know that you put this work in that week, and you worked hard to say, I'm going to come back out the next weekend, I'm going to get these kids, and then watched you come out and beat almost all those kids the very next weekend. So watching you understand the work ethic and what that does for you and overcome that, and the resiliency, and you not getting down about it, but getting excited was really cool for me, because I know that's going to long term grow you into who, as a man, you're going to be somebody who's going to be resilient and have a growth mindset, and you're going to get punched at sometimes by life, and you're going to be able to get back up and keep moving forward. So that was really cool to watch you do that, because I think a lot of kids just they look at the loss and they sit in that loss, but you at the age of 9 already understand that it's not about the wins and the losses, but it's about how you win and how you lose and coming back. And life is going to be full of losses, but do you keep getting back up and coming forward? So I was really proud of you to see you come back forward and work even harder and understand that that work was going to lead to payoff, and it did. So that was pretty cool. I was really proud of you. Remember? Mm-hmm. Yeah. How did you feel about that?
I felt like I didn't really know I had the same bracket, but like at the end of that one, I felt full of energy. And and there's this one kid I didn't beat in that tournament. Never beat. Like never even
I know
barely
him.
got a point on him.
Oh, I know.
And then I almost beat him at the final match of the year.
Yeah, that was exciting. I never jumped more out of my shoes. Even I've never celebrated so hard from watching somebody lose at something. And I know that seems weird, but like I remember celebrating because I remember going, there is literally not anything more you could have given. There's not any more work you could have put into it. And yeah, I was celebrating your loss because I saw the heart, and I could care less what the scoreboard said at the end. You know, it was really cool.
Final question.
Yeah.
Is there someone you want to say sorry, but it's too late?
Ooh, man.
Well, it's not always late for some things, but yeah, feels like it's late.
Sometimes it is too late. So that changes things when you add that on the end of that question. When you said, is there somebody I'd want to say sorry to, but it's too late? First of all, say the ability to say sorry and ask for forgiveness is really big. It's a key aspect of, I think, relationships in life, how happy you're going to be in life, your peace in life. I think sorry and asking for forgiveness. I don't know if it's necessarily somebody that I would say. I don't know if it's that I wish. So I wish I'd have had a better relationship with my grandfather on Mimi's side of the family, mom's side of the family. I didn't have a bad relationship with him, but he just was a really great man, and I feel like I was too young to value that, you know? And so I wish I could just go back in time and say sorry that I didn't, spend, when I was around him, more time to get to know his life better and who he was, and honor him more. And I was a kid, so I think there's a lot of grace there in that for that, because I didn't really know. But being an adult now, that's somebody that I wish I could go back and have a better relationship with, and just take more time to do stuff, to have conversations like this with, right? And that's why this is what we're doing here is so important, is because I want you to be an adult someday and not wonder, who was my dad, and not have any questions left unturned. And right now you're 9. These questions are already pretty deep, pretty serious. And I can only imagine over the next 4 to 5 years, if we continue to do this, where some of these questions will go. And the questions are going to get that much more serious. And as you become an adult, I want you to continue to have an open door with me to be able to ask those questions. So yeah, I would say, if I could right now, if you snap your fingers and there's somebody you could talk to that you can't, I would love for my grandpa to come back and say sorry that I didn't value the relationship more, and that I didn't get to know you better. And that's something I wish I could do.
Yeah. Another reminder, we are having guests. Just last one, remember, we are having guests to join us along with us. And yeah, did you like that conversation? Was it good?
Yeah, it went a lot deeper than I thought it was going to go today. But I appreciate that, and I expected that. I wouldn't expect anything less from you, as I know these are the kind of questions you ask me on a daily basis. So yeah, man, let's get ready to go to Florida tomorrow and have a great spring break.
6 o'clock.
6 o'clock push off.
Something like that.
Heck yeah, man. Let's go. I don't know what. All right. We'll see you guys next week. See ya.